I do psychotherapy with children and adolescents. I do not see adults, and I do not do couples. Okay, so the focus is only children and adolescents. Now, I do a lot of family therapy, and I do a lot of parenting stuff just in relation to the child. So I do see couples in my office, but it's always in relationship to the child, focused on parenting stuff. So I see clients here at St. Stephen's. Father KB lets me see clients here. So Monday through Friday, I can see kids after school here. And then on Saturdays, I'm in Green Hills, which is fantastic too, right? Then you can go shopping. Okay, so if you need to find me, you all have a card. I also have a Facebook page called Parent Talk with Carrie, and then my website is on there too. Okay, so the teen years. We're gonna start by doing some breathing, okay? The purpose of breathing is to get you present to this space right now, okay? If teachers started out every day in the classroom with breathing, their students' grades would go up, right? Because it's a way to get rid of all the junk that's happened right before you came in and all the stuff you have to worry about later. And the same is true with kids when they start school. It gets rid of all the chaos that happened in the morning before they got to school. So I'm going to teach you how to breathe. We're going to breathe together, okay? You're going to breathe in through your nose to the count of 4. And a big breath, like you're going to fill your chest, breathe. And then you're going to breathe out to the count of 6. The goal is that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Okay, so if your timing can change and you can breathe out to the count of 8, that's even better. So this is also how you would teach your kids how to do this, how to self-regulate, how to calm themselves down. And it can be done anywhere, and nobody has to know that you guys are doing it, right? The other thing that happens is with kids, you can do it to them, and they will just start doing it with you. Like if I walked up to you and I just started deep breathing, I wouldn't even have to say anything to you, and you would just mimic me, right? It's weird. I don't know why we do that, but we do. So that's a way to help with younger kids learning how to deep breathe in order to self-regulate. So I just actually had text this morning from one of my clients, and my little girl is flipping out because she's going to church. She doesn't want to have to go in the kids' room. She wants to stay with her mother. So it is a full-on panic attack. So I'm texting about breathing this morning because it's really significant for you too, right? Especially because the topic of today is adolescents and teenagers. So, ready? So you're going to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, if you have issues or your child has issues with their nose not working, you should address that, okay? Mouth breathers are edgier kids, right? They're a little bit more high-strung and uptight. So this little girl that I just told you about this morning, she's a mouth breather. So I told her mom yesterday, I'm like, we need to resolve this. She's just went for allergy testing and all that stuff, which is great. But that does need to be resolved because they're more high-strung. So inhaling through your nose in order to calm yourself is significant, right? Okay, so your adolescents and your pre-adolescents have all of the exact same emotions that you have, right? They've had the exact same emotions that you've had since they were babies, right? The only thing that's different is that as they grew, they learned how to manage their emotions better. Now, that never actually stops happening because you can look at yourself and know that you manage your emotions better or differently than you did 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago. You know, so it's ever evolving the way we manage, right? So they started with all the same emotions when they were bitty babies, but they have every single one of them. Adolescents have all of the same emotions that we do. Now in adolescence, we also are throwing in this biological issue, right, with the hormones that makes their emotions more extreme at times, and sometimes not all that sane, right? Sometimes it's a little erratic and, extreme, and all those things are happening really based on their hormones. And you can see it physically, right? You see that they're going through it. You can see their skin. You can see the acne. You can see that they're oilier. You can see that they're developing, right? That their bodies are changing. So all of those things are telling you that they have these hormones going through that are making their emotions even harder for them to manage. So there are times when you look at your child and you go, well, didn't expect the rage just now, but okay. Right? And sometimes I need you to just have compassion for that, right? Like they don't really understand why they are crying over this either. But giving a consequence and yelling at them for crying over it is not going to help, because that's kind of where they are developmentally. They could be having some hormone surge. They could be fixing to start their period, right? For the first time. Or it could be like the monthly thing, and it could, so there's a lot going on that we need to be mindful of that and be compassionate to that. So it's not always just, don't talk to your mother that way, and don't talk to your father that way, right? It's, I wonder what happened that you feel like talking to us like that is okay right now? And then sometimes you might go, but I'm gonna go, right? And you just walk away from it. Because sometimes they don't have an answer. I don't know. I am crying. Okay. Arguments in general. Doesn't really matter how old the child is. Arguments in your house are always about power and control. It's about who's going to be in charge. Who's going to be in charge of me? So as parents, we want to be in charge of them, right? But what the goal for us as parents is to just have enough control. We do not want all the control. You don't ever want all the control. Even when they're younger, we don't want all the control, because we want them to be independent thinkers. We don't want to have to tell them how to think and how to make choices all day long. We want them to be able to do it on their own. So giving them choices is going to help a lot with power and control. Right? This is going to eliminate a lot of your power struggles in your house, as if you give kids choices about everything. And it starts really young. Give them choices about as many things as you possibly can into and through adolescence. Because this is how they feel independent and like they have say in their lives. So if you think of something right now that you always have an argument about, we fight about this all the time. Think about how you can make that into a choice. And a choice is not, if you don't do it, then you will be grounded. That is not a choice. All right, that's like threatening. That's not a choice. A choice is, are you going to wear your coat or carry your coat? Right? Are you going to do your chores before dinner or after dinner? Are you going to take your shower before dinner or after dinner? Are you going to do your homework? It's that kind of thing. It's actually a choice. And then they get to decide how they want to do it. And then they get to learn the lesson on their own. Oh yeah, taking my shower after dinner works better for me, because then I can go right to studying and right to bed. That works. Taking my shower before dinner, well, that didn't work too good, because then, all these other things happened and I wasn't as tired and I wasn't prepared for sleep. Right? Doing my homework after dinner is not working because I fell asleep. I need to try to do it first. So the next time you ask, could you give the choice, they have learned this lesson for themselves. It wasn't you telling them, no, you need to do your homework now. Do it right now. Adolescents tend to not do well with now, right? Adolescents don't, things right now is usually set up for a disaster. That sets them up for an argument, right? So it can be, I need you to do your chores before dinner, right? You need to do your chores. Everything needs to be done by Saturday morning, right? Everything needs to get done by this certain time, by 5 o'clock. All this needs to be done before we leave for the game. whatever it is. So it's not right now. So know that in your head, right? And then if you're going to do that, you can't give them all kinds of warnings before it happens, right? Don't you remember? Got to be done at 5. Did you get on that? You got to do it by 5 o'clock. You got it? If you don't get it done, you're going to be in trouble. None of that, right? When you say the chores need to be done by 5, and they don't get done by 5, then you kind of cheer and go, all right, now I get to have some empathy, and there gets to be a consequence. And you didn't do anything wrong, right? You didn't do anything. This was about that. So then we start, any consequence, you start with empathy first, okay? Empathy is just sadness. And it's sadness for them that they made a bad choice, right? If you start any consequence with empathy, then their bad decision is the bad guy and not you. Okay, so empathy is just sadness. So empathy is like, oh no. Oh man. Well, okay, that didn't go well. Uh-oh. Oh, that's empathy, right? So it's not anger, it's just sadness. And I encourage you to pick one thing that feels natural to you that you can use over and over and over. Okay, whatever your empathic statement you want it to be is just, okay, well, now you can't go to the party. Yeah, sad, right? But just sad. And then you move on. That's when you duck and run. Right? Now, they're not going to take that. They're going to want to argue with you. They're going to try to bait you into an argument because they want to be mad at you. They don't want to have to think about their behavior. And as soon as you get baited in that argument, the lesson is lost, right? Because then they get to be mad at you because you're the one that's not letting them go to the party. So don't get into the argument. The best way to do that is to just kind of, love and logic says to go brain dead. They say not to hear it. Love and logic says that you just don't hear it and you have a scripted response. I know, I know, I know, I know. This family sucks. I know. You're so mean. I know. I know. You don't understand anything. I know. I know. Right? You don't have to, because as soon as you engage, then they get to be mad at you. And they don't get to learn the lesson and look at their own behavior as being the problem. Right? So make it easy for yourself and pick something that you like. A lot of parents like, I love you too much to argue. I love you too much to argue. I love you too much to argue. Would you quit saying that? I love you too much to argue. Right? Lots of parents use that, and you can use it with little ones. You do this with all your kids, right? It doesn't matter what age they are. Because remember, the lesson is learned when we don't argue, right? Then they feel bad about their behavior. So you lead with empathy. When they make bad choices, especially in adolescence, we kind of want to be happy about it, right? Because they need to learn from the choices that they make. So when they make these choices, then you lead with empathy, which is sadness, and then there's a consequence. And when they try to bait you, you just say, I know. I love you too much to argue, right? And in your head, as they're escalating, right, because they will, because they want to go to this party, you just get quieter in your head and you go, this is why this is working. This child desperately needs me to be the fall guy here. They don't want to see how it's them that has made this happen in their own lives. They want to blame me. You just don't do it, because then the lessons are learned faster, right? We get through this quicker. The other thing that parents do a lot, myself included, is there's this one consequence that you do not want to do. You do not want to have to do this, ever. That's the one you need to do. Right? And I know everybody's like pained. I know, it pains me too when I think about it. But it is the one, right? That's the one, you know. That's the one that's going to hit them where it hurts, kind of thing. Where they go, what? And you're like, yeah, man, right? We hate that. Then put on your helmet and run out the door. Okay. So teenagers are actually just trying on different hats all the time. They're trying to figure out how they want to be, what values they want to have. So their friends keep changing too, and they might try to act like this friend for a while. And you might not like that, but just go with it because they're trying it on. They want to figure it out, and you get to be there to witness it. You get to be there to help them through it, right? So they get to try on all these different ways to be. Now, eventually, they actually come full circle back to you, back to your values and what you have as important and your ethics and morals and all those things. That doesn't happen until about age 30, right? And adolescence lasts until about 25, okay? So adolescents, we just call them older adolescents, right? Like pre-adolescents or they're young adolescents and they get into adolescence, but older adolescents are in their 20s. You're still an adolescent in college, right? Like these are still adolescents. So 30 then makes more sense because they've reached a more appropriate level of maturity then. Okay. Let's see. Their peer group is most important in adolescence. So you need to be respectful of that. It's not you. It's not really supposed to be you developmentally. This is their opportunity to try on different peer groups, to see where they fit and whose ideas they like better, right? So their peer group is most important, so be mindful of that when you talk about their peer group, okay? Kids that were taught to think for themselves are less influenced by their